Okay. Let's see here. Okay.
Right.
That is muted.
Yeah, I gotta go through and do all that too.
Yeah.
Let's see
if I can get my windows up right. Sorry, guys. I see we've already got 5 here watching. Bear with me. I'm trying to get all my windows put in place here so I can actually see and talk to you guys.
How you doing, guys? Appreciate everybody joining in with us tonight.
All Fishing, what's up, brother? Thanks for coming out. All right, guys. I'm just going to give you a real quick rundown. I've got Southern Outdoors. He is one of the YouTubers that reached out to me, the very first YouTuber that ever reached out to me, asked me to come and do a live stream with him. I owe him a ton. He's a great guy. We've become good friends. I consider him a friend. I know, we maybe not, we don't hang out on the weekends, but we live a little bit away from each other. But we've had some long conversations via phone and text. He's a good guy. He's got a great channel. I think it's called Pimp My Kayak. No, Southern Outdoors. He's got, listen, I don't care what anybody says on any other channel. This guy's got the most pimped kayak you've ever seen. I mean, it just is. We can't.
I'm still working on it though, dude. I'm still working on it.
He don't have the hydros on it yet, but I'm telling you, they're coming. I mean,
I
this guy.
ain't got them neon lights and stuff.
No, yeah, he put some lights and some black lights so he can night fish off that thing.
That's right.
And I don't know. I have yet to see a YouTuber with a better kayak than this man right here. I think he can fit more stuff on his kayak than I can fit on my 20-foot kayak. I'm not lying.
Oh, wait. Let's see. I'm trying to get the stream here pulled up.
Pond Hopper Nation. Hey, thanks, man. If you guys don't know about Pond Hopper Nation, go out and check out his website. I think Pond Hopper, correct me if I'm wrong, it officially launches January the 4th, I believe. Bobby, what's up? Michigan Wild Boys, what is going on?
Okay, we got just about got everything opened up here.
Now, guys, we said we're going to talk about Lady Bass. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
We, I know we got in the title that we're going to talk about lure selection. And that can be at any time for anything, ponds, rivers, streams. If you're talking about anything other than bass, then you definitely are going to talk to Southern Outdoors because I don't know I focus so hard on bass. What's going on, Chris? That I can't even catch a crappie. So, unless it's luck. I've caught some muskie, but trust me, it's luck. I was throwing big swim baits for bass when I caught them. But so we're already up to 9. I'm pretty happy. What's up, Richard?
Good deal.
And you guys, I generally go ahead and open it right up to questions. I'm going to let Southern here talk a little bit about his channel and the things that he does, and the way he does some saltwater fishing called a huge redfish, which is
actually it was huge to me.
Well, I mean, it was huge to me. It was big, man. I mean, he was one of the biggest. I mean, that was a bull red. I mean, it was big. Man.
Yeah.
So I'll let him kind of better introduce himself than I can do. And forgive me, guys, I'm probably liable to sound like a 12-year-old boy with some voice cracking right now. I'm sick as a dog. We're probably going to go till 9 if I've got a voice long enough for that. Y'all know me, I can run my mouth. So, Southern, take it, brother.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate BassGeek for letting me come join him on this live stream. I really do appreciate it. Like he was saying, and we've become friends. We talk on the phone. We text each other. Really appreciate him. He is a great fisherman. I mean, if anybody can fish in the waters he fishes, if he fishes and catches fish, it just blows my mind. But the clarity of water he fishes and catches fish, it just, around here we only have 6-7 foot max is usually what we water clarity. He's talking 20 foot better at times, so that just blows my mind. But anyway, yeah, my channel's I'm Thomas Farlow, Southern Outdoors Fishing. So I do a lot of kayak fishing. I started that up this year, really heavy. I got a Hobie, really love that. I started doing saltwater a few years ago. I'm not no expert by any means. I just go out, have fun. I really enjoy it. And I caught my first bull red this year, which a bull red is considered 27 inches or bigger. Mine was 32. So I don't know what the poundage on the things are. I just know that it was fun.
That was just fun. Oh yeah, that was tiny.
Yeah.
Big to you. I believe that's big to everybody.
It was. I was tickled to death.
I believe that's big to everybody.
But yeah, I do a lot of whenever I can get down there to the coast, I love going down there. I really just enjoy that type of fishing, because you never know what you're going to bring in. I mean, you may be fishing for bull reds, you may bring in a shark or a big stingray, or who knows, tell them what. I've been out there and I was out there fishing the day that I caught, and I have not posted this video. This is a video to come, so y'all be watching for this. It's kind of going to be a blooper thing, but when the time, whenever I caught my bull red, my wife had another rod on the other side of the boat. Well, she hollered at me and said, "There's something on this other rod," and I just kind of didn't even think about it. So I was over there fighting my fish and got it in. Well, I go over there and grab the other rod, and it's just I pull it, and it's like it's nothing there. I mean, it's just like I'm hung. And because we was on like 7-8 foot of water, and so I start pulling on it, and I'm just about ready to break the line. All of a sudden, that sucker takes off, and I'm like, whoa! And my rod just doubles down, and I'm pulling on this thing, and I'm pulling on this thing, and finally, I start pulling on it so hard. I was using the old Fenwick bass rod, 7-foot rod, and I was using. I can't remember what reel. I think I was using my Abu Garcia, my big blue one. It's a 60. What is that? 60-something series, 60-something 100 series. Anyway, it's a big one. And I was pulling on that thing, and you can see the rod in the video. It's shaking like this. And I'm pulling up on that thing, and it's pulling down as I'm pulling up. That thing takes and just goes back down, and whenever it did, it snaps the rod about 3 foot up.
Good Lord.
But anyway, that's just, you just never know what you're going to run into down there. And that's just what it's just fun to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do that. I fish lakes around here, mostly out of kayak. I don't have a bass boat. I'd love to have a bass boat at some point, but I'd love to be able to get in on a kayak, some kind of kayak series fishing, because I really do enjoy that.
That'd be fun. It is, and with how you've got your kayak rigged up, man, that you really should, because I mean it's sweet.
Well, since I've changed jobs now at work, that'll give me more time to be able to do something like that, hopefully, because I'm not on call anymore. So hopefully that'll give me more time on the weekends to be able to do something like that. But we'll wait and see how that pans out. But anyway, I just, that's what I like to do. That's what I do a lot of pond fishing, whatever ponds I can fish around here. I fish the river. I got the river right close by.
Yeah.
I just enjoy that type of stuff too. So I was hoping to go out this weekend on the river fish, but I don't know. It's going to be cold this weekend, so I don't know. We'll wait and see. My wife may have other plans for me too.
Well, I think tomorrow here, the high is supposed to be 33. So,
Ooh.
yeah. So I was actually planning on fishing, but since I sound like this, it's probably best that I don't, because
you might want to stay inside.
Yeah, I will probably end up with pneumonia and it probably won't end up. So, yeah, like I said, I'm probably going to be in bed tomorrow. So if anybody needs me, don't bother me. I ain't answering. So we've already got some questions going on. From maybe Fishing Trio. Hey, if you guys ain't seen these, these three kids, man, go watch their videos. These kids catch some giant bass. They make me jealous. I mean, they really do. They kill me.
What's the name of the channel?
Maybe Fishing Trio.
Okay, okay? There they are. Okay,
they're like 8 and 12. I mean, they're young guys, man. Realistic, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, good seeing you here.
Florida boy bassing. So guys, we're talking about lure selection, and if you have any questions about lure selections, when, where, how, feel free to ask. It doesn't have to be cold water, even though we're getting into the cold water season. So we'll definitely start talking about what cold water baits we like. Situations, clear water, dirty water. Thomas, he's definitely more of a dirty water fisherman than I am. I think everybody knows that. For some reason, I am clear water all day. But jigs, I've had a lot of you guys talk to me about jigs. Jigs are probably my second favorite bait behind a swim bait. And I know a lot of people, even I say swim baits are my favorite lure. But, me and Thomas was talking before we went live, and, a swim bait to me is probably my favorite bait, simply due to the conditions that I find myself fishing a lot in clear water. In clear water, especially super clear water, when you're talking to me, super clear water is, anything over 12 or 15 feet. A crankbait may work, but a lot of the lakes that I fish, they are clear with not a lot of cover. So they have structure, but no real cover, which means, there may be a brush pile or a lay down, and you may catch some smaller fish running a square bill or a crankbait down that. And you'll even catch, a couple of decent sized fish. But to me, if you've got a branch that's this big around, a fish this big isn't going to hide under it. They're going to go down. So if it's 15 foot clear, they're going to be in 20 most of the time. And so that's why I started fishing deeper. And they're going to be on that edge, sort of that transition area is what I've learned. And so why I say all this is because, I like a swim bait because the conditions I fish dictate that I like a swim bait, because that's what's going to catch the larger fish in the clear water, the soft swim baits. Now, I love a hard swim bait, but I'm probably not going to fish. And in California, guys are going to tell you different, but I've not had the luck with it in water that's really clearer than 10 feet. And I like a little chop. Same with an Alabama rig. An Alabama rig is a group of swim baits, but you still got that wire. Even if you don't throw it with blades, I like a little bit of wind on the water to break up light penetration. So when we talk about lure selection should always be dictated by conditions, time of year, water clarity, water color, and even wind conditions. And so that's why I'm such a big swim bait guy, soft swim bait guy. And I'm sure Thomas will tell you the same thing. You know, if he's out fishing a pond, he's not going to fish a DT or a DT 20, you know, if he's fishing in 10 foot and it's got a muck bottom, you know, and he's not going to fish a transparent lure in 1 foot clarity because they'll never see it. So, vice versa, that's generally what I'm going to throw. So, all right, let's see. I know we're missing, guys. As always, I tell you, if we miss a question, repost it because, again, I'm sick. I'm sorry. Because we want to answer all your questions.
Yeah, most definitely.
Oh,
I'm trying to get my comments. I had to close out some stuff there.
Yeah, Rich, you're right. That is the one mistake that I feel like I made the day that I caught that smallmouth. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you, I didn't get to prep the night before, and so what happened is my rod and reel that I normally use for my jigs, I had broke a jig off in mid cast and backlashed it real bad. So I was going to have to cut the line off, and I was just too lazy to tie it on. But yeah, I would have thrown in 30 foot of water. I'd have probably loved to have had, especially around the rock, about a 3/4 ounce with a beaver bait. But I don't want in clear water. I don't want in clear colder water. I don't want like a structure bug. It's got a lot of flap to it. I want more of a dead presentation, something that's just going to fall straight down, not flap a whole lot, not move a whole lot. I'm just going to drag it on the bottom. But yeah. Hey, Brad, what's up? But you're right. I really do wish I'd have had a football head and about a 3/4 ounce green with maybe a watermelon red flake on there.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been awesome. Realistic. What kind of gloves? I don't know the name brand, but I bought a pair and they wasn't cheap, but I don't remember how much they were. Bass Pro Shop. They make them in the fly section, and your pointer and your thumb, they've got a little slit cut right here. And so you can bend that part back, and it's got a little Velcro strip on the back here. And so you've got these two hands, and they're pretty water resistant. I don't remember how much I paid for them, but the first day I had them, I really loved them, and then I left them on the boat as I was pulling out of the parking lot.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so, I've just suffered since then.
I bought a pair from Bass Pro. They're failed. I mean, they're not for fishing, but all the fingers and thumb is cut off the top, and they work pretty good. But I want to give me some better ones.
These were pretty good. I was pretty impressed with them. I don't remember the name, but I'm sure if you look it up on Bass Pro Shop, you'll probably find them or something thereof. Hey, Joey, man, what's up? Joey, I promise I'm going to send you those hopefully tomorrow. That's going to be the one thing I'm actually going to get out of bed to go do. Let's see. John, on the best sledge fishing bait, my personal favorite is a green pumpkin old monster. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. I'll tell you, and it, one of the things that I talked about in 3 Seasons of Summer, a video I did a while back, was how the fish change throughout the summer. So you can start out early with moving baits and big spoons. And as the season progresses, you generally have to slow down to, dragging a jig and an old monster or Magnum. I really like a Magnum shaky head. So that's real good. Lure selection. Let's talk about, since we're really getting into the transition. And so, and I want to keep Thomas involved. So let's talk about lure selection for you. Let's start out with you pond fishermen out there. Let's talk about lure selection, cold water for clear to dirty ponds. And I'm gonna let Thomas take this one.
For me, I use my two number one, but my two baits that I like to use the most. And I know a lot of people don't really believe this, but I've always had great luck with it, and that's a Senko.
And I can understand why.
It's slow. You know, the cold water,
which is exactly what the bass want.
Yeah, they're a little lethargic, so that they like that slow presentation.
Twitches in
really
good.
Yeah, exactly. So I have really good luck with that. I have good luck with just a small little square bill, something like that. Trying to think what else. Jerk bait. I usually do pretty decent with a jerk bait. That's really about all I ever throw when I go to a pond. To be honest with you, I might throw it in different colors, but I mean that's about it.
Well, here's a question. And this goes back to saying, Lord have mercy. Listen, guys, I've had to take some cold medicine today, so my brain sometimes don't work. A Senko. So, a Senko in cold water, especially ponds, most ponds, I mean, how deep is that pond you fish a lot?
It's the deepest point that I've had so far, and on a normal day when it ain't rained, is around 10 and a half feet.
Yeah. So that's not really very deep. And so I always ask people always go, well, you fish a suspended jerk bait in cold water, but people don't really understand why. So how many of you guys know why in cold water? Answer this. A suspended jerk bait is so good. Let's see if anybody can get it. And it goes back to why a Senko in a pond would be great.
Mm-hmm. I will answer this right here real quick while people are kind of thinking on that. Realistic ask the question, Senko rigged how I rig it. Yeah. I like it rigged with I wacky rig. That's the only way I ever work as a Senko. I've never worked one any other way. That's just the way I like to work on them. I'll use the little O-ring, and I'll use a number 2 Gamakatsu. I think it's an octopus or mosquito hook. It's the one that's got the little keeper on it. You go and take a warehouse, you can find them.
Yeah, I like that.
But I use that, and I throw it with a bait caster. So, because Senkos I can throw with a bait caster. I don't need a spinning rod to throw them because they're heavy enough. They throw well. So.
All right, so nobody's answered my question. So either you guys ain't listening to me. No. The reason you throw a suspended jerk bait during cold water is because bass are cold-blooded. So during a sunny day, they'll actually suspend up and sun to raise their body temperatures. So a suspended jerk bait doesn't sink, it doesn't float, so it doesn't raise, and it stays right there. You can park it in that spot. Well, Senko has as close to a suspended action as it really gets, especially weightless. Mm-hmm. And so, and it's got just that, wonderful little twitch as it falls. And that's why. The thermocline, no, you're close, but what they'll do is they'll just suspend up maybe and just sun. They're just sunning. So
I thought about trying. I've been watching some videos here lately. The Nico rig. I've been thinking about trying to Senko with the nail in the end of it, just to see if that would change things up a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just an idea.
And Joe, you're right. Shad die off, and they'll either slow sink or just kind of suspend based on how the water is. So yeah, that is another reason. Do a review on my favorite Senko. That's pretty easy. It's at the actual Senko. They're just, I'll have to give it to what is it, Lunkers TV. He did a lot of in-pull stuff on why he likes the Senko versus everything else. And if you go and watch those videos, I mean, to me, it proves they just have better action than most of your other stuff. And oddly enough, the other bait that I like that ended up being the closest version to a Senko was Bass Pro Shop's version of it. And you can get those things in huge bags really cheap.
Yeah, I haven't bought none of those. I hadn't been to Bass Pro, but I hadn't bought none of those. But I want to try. My buddy that I work with, he uses them. He likes them. But he usually he usually fishes them Texas rigged and does well with them.
I fish them Texas rig on a EWG, but a lot of the reason I fish them Texas rigged on an EWG is because there is a little bit of the lakes on the Virginia side, there's a lot of laydowns. So there's, because the banks are so steep, the trees are limbs and stuff are constantly falling in. So if you fish them wacky rigged over here, you just might as well throw all your Senkos and hooks in the water because that's pretty much what you're going to be doing 90% of the time. Yeah, realistic. I seen that video, by the way, realistic. Let's see. I'm reading. If you see any, Thomas, you jump right in.
Richard is after my own heart right there with the Carolina rig. I love the Carolina rig.
Black bugs that dance across. I've seen the bugs, that dance across. Little old, I don't know. I guess they look like little beetles, but I've never fished anything that's small and like that. I've seen a lot of bluegill come up. John, by the way, Texas rig and a Carolina rig is how I fish them. Yeah, Texas rig. I don't fish them now. Richard, you're in Florida, so you're around a lot of grass, and I know there's a lot of guys that'll even put punch skirts on those Senkos down there. What's my favorite overall bait, Brad? I'm gonna let Thomas answer this because I bet everybody in here can answer mine. So
mine is topwater. I mean, that's just hands down. I love the topwater. If I could fish away all year round, it'd be topwater.
Now, I do love some topwater, but I'm telling you, I don't know what it is about these lakes over here. I cannot seem to get a topwater bite, a consistent topwater bite going in super clear water. I just can't do it.
I bet that is hard. I really do. I bet that is tough.
I mean, it is. You have to, if it's super clear, again, 15, 20, 25 feet, you have to work that bait so fast because they can't get a look at it. If they get a sniff of it at all, I know it was a 3 pound, and I was throwing it was still low light, and I was throwing a baby spook. It was black, and man, I was working it, and I seen this big old smallmouth come up, and I was just like, oh, and I stopped it. He just turned right around and went away. And I was like, man, I can't believe that. Yeah, Bobby, it's a swim bait. And like I said, look, guys, if I was able to catch the bigger fish in my lakes, which, like I said, you go look at any tournament on the volunteer division, and it kind of translates the same over to the Southwest Virginia end of it. You put 5 3-pounders in the boat, you're gonna cash a pretty nice check. Most of the time you're gonna finish top 5. So my focus is always on that 3-pound mark. If I can put 5 3-pounders in, I'm gonna have a great day around here. Now there are days. South Holston last year, it took 20 something pounds, I think, to finish in the top 7 or 8. And that was smallmouth mostly, I think. I'd have to go back and look, but you know, there's days when it happens. But you know, swim bait again, a swim bait just is, it looks more natural in clear water than anything else. And the way I catch most of my bass with a swim bait in super 20, 15, 20, 25 feet is I slow roll it on the bottom. So that should even tell you, that goes against everything that anybody will tell you about fishing clear water. If you're fishing anything in clear water, what do you want to do? You want to bump it, you want to burn it, you want to bang it in the stuff. Not a swim bait. It's okay if they get a good look at it. If you're throwing the right swim bait, they're just going to eat it so it looks real. Soft swim bait.
Brad, Brad asked, what is the best time to fish a pond with a Senko? For me, I have the best luck from late fall to early spring. I know that sounds crazy, but that's when I throw it, and that's when I usually catch the big bass, and I catch a lot of bass that way on Senko. In pond fishing, I mean, it's going. You know, you may only get 3 or 4 bites while you're out fishing a pond, but you know, at least you're going to catch fish normally. For me.
And then Bobby A asked, do you ever use any baby brush hogs when you're fishing ponds?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I like them Texas rigged. Now, they're great Carolina rig, but you know, and you know, Thomas will tell you most of the time ponds have got a soft bottom, so being able to hop that lure above that muck is better. And most of the time, brush hogs, where they have all the appendages, they're going to give off a lot of good vibration. And most of your ponds, at least around me, I know around Thomas, they're dirtier water, so a little bit of vibration, even in a soft plastic, is a good thing.
Well, plus also too, you know, with soft plastics like that, I usually don't fish weight. If I do, it's very little, and because you know a lot of the ponds around here during the spring and not so much in the wintertime, a lot of that moss and mess has died off. But I know in the early spring, summer, you got a lot of that old green junk's all over the bottom, you know, slime mess and weeds and mess. You know, you get that all over your baits, and it's hard to fish, you know, anything with weight on it. So at least it is around here.
Now, Richard, you're my #1 fan. I don't know what you did leaving, buddy. I'm glad you're back. I can't have a live stream without you.
Yeah.
Well, it'd go to heck. I'd fall apart. We like buzzing a baby brush hog. You know, I've never buzzed a baby brush hog. I've buzzed the Yamamoto paddle tails. And their swim baits, I buzz them, but I've never buzzed a baby brush hog. That's interesting technique. Maybe I guess that's why you guys catch all those stinking big bass up there. Y'all probably the ones that are be called BassGeek doing this stuff.
Let's see. This is a question for you, Hank. Lady Bass asked, jig fishing on a hot summer day. I'm not a big jig fisherman in the summertime. And I do it, but I don't, you know, I'm just not one of my big things.
And for me,
I'm more of a Carolina rig, Texas rig.
Well, and again, for me, it goes back to in clear water, that Carolina rig. I like a Carolina rig, but I think the compact nature of a jig, and in clear water, I don't like to actually trim the skirt of a jig because I don't want it being having too much action. Long skirt will generally lay dormant a little better. Now, Lady Bass, you fish a lot of weeds though in super clear water. You've got a lot of grass in your lakes. So I'm probably, if I'm going to fish the deep edge, I'm probably going to mostly use a swim bait style head if I'm going to cast it, simply because it's going to come through weeds better, even if I'm fishing it on the bottom and dragging or just slightly hopping. Now, if you go out and you find an area that even in clear water that doesn't, during the summer, generally that's when I'm going to throw on the most action to my trailer, to my jig that I can get. So I'm going to throw on either a rage crawl or any version of a crawl that's going to flap. I'm going to throw on a rage bug if I want it to be a little more compact but thicker. For a trailer. But I love to fish a jig during the summer, and especially in the late summer when they start slowing down, and you have to go back and forth with your retrieve. Most of the time in the late summer, they just want it drug a little ways, not hop, not pulled off at bottom. And then you just sit there and dead stick it for 2 or 3 seconds, drag it a little more. Yeah, Joey, a hair jig is compact. Now, I fish a hair jig during the summer, but I fish it very different in very different sizes than I do during cold water. And let's see. So this time of year, what are some of your all's favorite baits? And Thomas, I'll let you kind of chime in on that.
All right.
Other than the Senko.
Yeah.
And talk about in moving water, because you fish at river a lot. So, you know, I don't fish a lot of actual river. So I don't really know how cold water really affects, you know, fish in moving water a little more.
Well, actually, this is going to be my first year ever fishing a river in the wintertime. I've never done that before, so that is going to be interesting. And I think I'm going to have the best luck with a jig, just I'm trying to think, a jig, and trying to think of the bait, like a chatterbait type jig thing, you know, jig bait. Trying to think of what else. A jerk bait would probably work pretty good as well. Just depend on if you're in the you know, fishing around rocks or whatever. I wouldn't want to get too lost my train of thought. Don't ever do that, do we?
No, I do that all the time.
Oh gosh, you know.
Again,
but anyway, I just don't want to get in and get them swim baits. And I wouldn't think in real and these other guys probably fish a lot more this type of stuff than I do as far as rivers and all. But since I'm new at that game, but I'm just thinking those baits like that.
Yeah, I just don't know, because I don't
know. I mean, that's kind of.
I don't fish a whole lot of like real river systems. You know, I fish like a lot of river lakes that are river-esque. You know, they're not moving water. Hey, Bass Bullies, what's going on? New England's here. And I seen somebody else there.
Out west for Chris. Hey, dude.
West. Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
We're up to 19 viewers. We're doing well tonight.
That's good. Yeah, we're doing good.
So, and for me,
I'm
sorry, man. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound like I didn't, just kind of dazed out on that question or anything. Just
No,
that's one of the questions I'm just gonna have to get out there and do it because I hadn't
learn
really
it,
done it yet.
Yeah.
And learn it. But I think just to go back to it, just to kind of overview, I think a jig will work. I'm thinking probably a Senko and not running water. That's moving real quick. And that river, we got a lot of areas. It's just moving real slow. It's not fast moving. So from where I usually put in to the dam, I'm usually got slow moving water,
slack water.
Yeah. So I think probably anything that you can fish in a pond or lake or anything like that will do okay there, as long as you got some kind of way to retrieve it if you get it hung.
Yeah.
That's going to be your only downfall with that.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of brush and rock in there.
Somebody asked if I like the drop shot or I think they said power shot, and they said the power shot is weedless, but I always thought a power shot was just an upsized. But I'll say for me, a lot of times when I'm fishing drop shot, I'm fishing it weedless if I'm fishing in Virginia, because in Virginia there's a lot of laydowns, a lot of brush. If I'm fishing it in Tennessee, I'm fishing mainly around rock or rock transition, so I'll go with a regular drop shot. Like I said, and that's the biggest reason that I wanted to name tonight, lure selection, is because the conditions should always dictate even how you rig a bait. So, somebody else asked me something there and I missed it. My thoughts are, and Thomas's thoughts on underspin. I like an underspin. I fish an underspin in a little dirtier water. Anything to me that is 10 foot or less, or maybe even less than that, I like an underspin. Because when I fish clear water with a swim bait or in colder water, just that blade just is, they can see it a mile away and they just know it's not natural. So, and forgive me sucking my snot there. I know you all wanted to hear that. Listen, I'm sick, daggone it.
Yeah, we'll let you slide this time.
Yeah. My nose just keeps getting worse and worse as we go here, so forgive me.
I'm probably gonna be in the same boat in about a week. My oldest son has got a sore throat and runny nose, so I'm probably gonna be the same way.
Man, I fought it. Yeah, and Ben does whack them on that underspin, and up there it's pretty clear water up there too. So but Smallies, and even Ben has said it, the lakes I fish down here, even clear water, and a prime example, I've got this one lake. It's a small lake. You see me fish during the summer. It's one of my favorite places to go. The lake is only 5 miles long. I have been on that lake when there are 12 and 15 boats on it. That is less than a mile stretch per boat. So, and Ben has even said it. Ben will tell you that the fish up there, and I guess the lake is so big, is that they're just not as smart. And I literally seen him say that, I think, on a live stream with Alex one night. Down here, they're so spooked all the time. You really have to pay attention and be really, really supernatural, because everybody and their mama's throwing an underspin, and probably 3 peoples went by throwing a spinner bait and throwing an underspin, and so these lakes are really, really pressured. Best smallie is 20 inches. Guys, you won't believe it, but that smallmouth I caught in that last video, he was super skinny. He was 19 inches. And he was only 3 pounds. So, I mean, I was really surprised. No wonder he wanted to eat that big bait. He needed something in his belly.
Lady bass caught one 23 inches on. I bet that thing was a
shoo, yeah.
toad.
Where are you out of, Lady Bass? I know you're up in Canada, but where is it exactly? And I know I've asked you this before, so I apologize.
I know I've heard her say, but I can't remember either.
But where was that, Bass Bullies?
At least that.
Yeah, it does have a lot less fishing pressure on that big of a lake. You know, I mean, at least they're more spread out. And I think that's what Ben was getting at. Speed clips on crankbaits and topwaters. Yes, I do. Not on topwaters. Yeah. I tie a loop knot on topwaters because at least all the clips that I have tried cause my bait to nose down just a little. I tie a particular, and I don't remember, Joey, the video, but it's a guy from around here, and it's a particular loop knot on any sort of walking bait. But on crankbaits, yeah, because, I mean, look, guys, I do, and if you go count the rods in my boat, there's, I guarantee, at least 50 of them right now, but that being said, I've only got 3 crankbait rods. And and I'm not trying to sound like that kind of, you know, a-hole, but you know, when you're out on the water, you need, I'm all about, even when I'm fishing for fun, I fish it like a tournament. So once I get that honed in, so I'll have, you know, 3 crankbaits of 2-3 different depths, 2-3 different colors, you know, and once I get that honed in, I'll generally cut that quick clip off, and then I'll tie straight to, because I just think you get a little more action out of them. And I don't, if I've got a, I ain't gonna even say that because that'd be a lie. Sometimes I do hook the quick clip up to a split ring, and you should not do that. But sometimes I do, because if I'm in a hurry and I'm trying to cover water and kill water, or eliminate. Yeah, I'm trying.
I'm guilty.
Yeah, I'm trying to eliminate water, but you shouldn't do that. Favorite memory of 2016. Go ahead, Thomas.
Ooh. I guess catching my red. It would be my height, because that was something on my bucket list I really want to get done this year, and I got it done finally. Goals for next year: catch one 40 inches, catch another one, and get it at least 40 inches. That'd be a goal for next year. As far as bass, I want to catch one double digit. I really want to catch one double digit.
Yeah.
Or at least break my PB, which is 7.5 pounds.
Yeah. Mine, my favorite memory of this year was probably Father's Day. That video that's titled Deep Bass Fishing, maybe. Went out for Father's Day, and man, I caught some really good fish. It was just a good day. It's, you know, and as far as next year, I am fishing the BFLs next year, so that's probably not going to be able to travel and come fish with you, some of you guys, like I'd hoped. But I am fishing the BFLs. So for the volunteer division, I'm going to fish it as a co-angler again. My buddy Tim is going to fish them. So, and he's a great stick, and I want to learn. And that is my goal for 2017. I want to learn more about the Tennessee lakes. I want to get better on the Tennessee lakes, because there's a better population. There's generally bigger bass over there. And, you know, I just want to become better. I want to be a better angler. I don't necessarily want to be a pro tournament angler, but I really turned a corner. At least I felt last year on my approach to fishing, and I want to really, really get home that in. So,
well, I heard you say yourself that you fishing the BFLs, you felt like you wasn't as far behind those guys as what you thought you was.
yeah, I was really surprised because I'm one of these guys that I build things up in my mind.
I do the same thing.
I'm not the type of guy. I don't like to look like an idiot, and even though I am one, so I guess I just need to get used to it. But I build these guys that fish these tournaments up, even locally, and I tell everybody, listen, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't want to fish tournaments, and that's okay, or they just want to do YouTube, and that's okay. I don't fault anybody for this. But listen, there's only one way. If you only want to fish, and this is what I'm saying, I may not ever be a pro angler, and really I don't want to be. I'm getting too old for that. But what I want to do is be one of the best anglers in at least my area on my lakes. I want people to go, man, that Hank, man, he can catch them. And I'm okay, and I'd be good with that. That'd be good. If I die and everybody goes, man, he was a heck of an angler on, South Holston and Douglas and Cherokee and wherever, man, he could catch them. And the only way you learn, and one of the things that I learned about the BFLs and about local clubs is you've got guys who have knowledge. You can go out, you can read every Bassmaster, and don't get me wrong, those guys are the pros and they're great, but they use what I call general knowledge. Now they'll tweak out baits, and they've got time to tweak and do all this stuff. But you've got local guys who have fished that lake from the time they were 8-year-old till the time they're 58-year-old. And their grandfather fished that lake, and he showed them things and taught them things. And it'll be things that you'll never learn from Bassmaster or FLW or anywhere else, because these guys are locals that have fished that lake and learned little things about that lake that you're never going to learn anywhere else. And so those are the things. That's why I like to fish a BFL, because those guys who are locals, and in every tournament, me and several guys that fish them, we talk about it all the time. If you fish those tournaments and you finish top 20, you've done good, because I promise you there's at least 10 locals that are going to fish that tournament, and they ain't going to fish anything else for the rest of the year. And the reason why is because they know they're going to make money on that, because they know where every stick and lay down and rock that holds a bass on that lake is, because they fished it for 100 stinking years.
Well, one other thing, you touched on a good point there about the locals. A lot of those pros, they gonna go to the local shops. They're gonna talk to those guys, those local anglers, because they're gonna try to find out what baits are working, what they need to be throwing in these lakes. I've heard them on TV say that.
A buddy of mine, I'll tell you what, and I probably shouldn't mention his name. Oh gosh, because he's a pro. He's a great guy.
Well, you better not.
No, I'm gonna do it. Don't sue me, Mike McQuillan. Don't sue me. He told me, where was it? The Red River. It was a few years back. He fished down on Texas, and basically he got on this run. He was making this run, and he told me. He said, "Man," he said, I had a buddy, and he said he knew where they were. He come down. I fished them. He showed me where they were, and I fished them the whole tournament. I know guys on Cherokee right now who are very good sticks on Cherokee, and Bassmaster is going to be there. BASS is going to be there in February, and all these locals are getting phone calls from pros. Hey, take me down there. Take me fishing. Talk to me about this lake. Guys, you wouldn't believe the local knowledge that the pros get. And a lot of times, I'm not knocking the pros. They're pros for a reason. Trust me, they are good. They're better than me. They're better than most of you all. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but they also get a lot of insider information that me and you aren't going to get, because we ain't Kevin Van Dam or Mike Iaconelli or, whoever. So, but they are good. And what they're good at is they are good at finding fish quick. And another conversation I had with a buddy of mine named Chris is look at the major league fishing. They take them out, put them on a lake they don't know, they ain't seen, and can only fish a certain area. Now that's what impresses me. They all catching 12 inchers, but look how fast and how many they're catching. Me and you go down that bank, and we'd catch none or one. They've done caught 10, and that's what they're good at. That's what they're good at. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to drone on. But
I just been told I was pushy.
Pushy.
I told everybody. Yeah, I told everybody to go ahead and hit that like button.
Oh yeah, go hit that like button.
Chris out west. Out west of Chris, I was pushy.
Listen, this guy's the most unpushy guy I know now. If you said I was pushy, I could understand. My wife has a shirt that says "I'm with a-hole." I'm kidding.
Oh God.
Anyway, 40 per boat. What are you talking about, Bass Bullies? I missed something here. I probably missed a lot because I can shut up. I'll tell you what, guys. I don't fish a frog maybe a whole lot, but on that particular lake, Flanagan, that me and Thomas was talking about earlier, I think we was talking about this off camera, we got up there, Richard, and there was just so happens just a little bit of grass in the back. Lord have mercy, I've never had a fish scare me as bad. It missed. I threw it out there, and there's this, it wasn't a foot. I didn't expect there to be a fish there. I worked that frog across there, Next thing I know, it sounded like a toilet exploding and flushing at the same time. It was ka-whoosh! And I seen this big old belly on this fish come out, and I was calm. I was like, okay, don't set the hook. But at the same time, I caught out of the corner of my eye, I seen this thing flying. And I was like, what's that? I was like, oh, that's my frog. He hit it so hard. He knocked it 3 foot in the air and 5 foot to the side. And gosh, it literally, my legs buckled. I was like, what's that? It was kafoosh. I never heard anything like that in my life. It was crazy.
Those are moments you live for right there, buddy.
Yeah,
those strikes like that.
I wished he would have actually taken it so I could have caught him. But
yeah, true. That'd been
the bad thing.
I've been icing on the cake.
Yeah. Well, and what was even worse is I was filming that day, but my chest cam had died, and I was fishing directly off the side of the boat. So the other camera, which was pointing this direction, didn't catch an ounce of it. So I was like, man, that stinks. All right, guys, listen, as you can tell, my voice is going. So we're going to go about another 10 or so minutes. And I know Thomas, his wife and kids are probably like, I wish that guy'd shut up. So
I think they're upstairs watching Ninja Warrior right now on TV.
Can't beat that.
No, that's actually a good show.
Yeah, it is a good show. It makes me think about how old and out of shape I am, so I try not to watch it.
I look at that and I'm like, I would just every bone in my body be broke.
Yeah, I wouldn't make it past jumping off the first platform. I'd be right in the water.
Let's see. Oh, out west, Chris said that he's going to try to fish some kayak tournaments next year.
That's awesome.
2017. That's good. That's good.
Thomas,
that goes back to.
If there's not somebody that runs a kayak tournament in your area, you ought to think about starting one up yourself.
Yeah, if I could, yeah, I just my time wise, I don't know how time wise, but during the summertime we're going a lot of times, to either to the coast or just wherever, but camping or something like that. But that'd be good. I know there's some around because I know there's I actually subscribe to a guy's channel. I can't remember the name of that guy's channel, but they run one off Baden Lake, the Baden Uray River chain.
Yeah,
that I love to fish over the Uray, and I thought about getting up with those guys because they're pretty local to me.
So there's two questions. Let's see, where was that other one? Jewelry Club. What's your favorite rod? Fishing with a mission. If I really had to pick one, it'd probably be the Halo series. I like them, but I've got so many different brands and versions of rods that I really like the Tatula stuff too. But gosh, I just like to try a whole bunch of other stuff. My favorite brand, a hair jig, and you asked this earlier. During the summer, I use what's called a preacher jig. I don't remember the name of it, but if you look up preacher jig, and it's really a big jig. My favorite is like an ounce because I fish it a little different. A lot of people will stroke it off the bottom, but I like to actually let it drop to the bottom, put me a little swim bait on it, a little Kitech. A lot of people like to put a fluke style bait on it, but I'll kind of burn it and let it get it lift and then let it settle and then get it lift. And a lot of times when you take it off and let it settle, those bass will swim up to it. And then when you take off again, they just can't stand it and they'll hit it. During the winter, I fish a locally made jig. It's just a little ball head jig, a little tiny jig, 1/4 ounce. And it's this ugly green with a little bit of like red or orange in the middle of it, a little hair jig. And everybody just calls it the ugly little jig around here. And it'll burn them up during the winter time. Yes, Halo is on sale right now. Buy one, get one free, and a free shirt, which I got an awesome free shirt from them. I've already bought them. I've already bought 2. And I don't know if you all know this, but and I'm not affiliated with Tackle Warehouse in any way, but they also started, and they've got their Seaguar line like 20 and 40% off right now in their 25 days of Christmas sale. So you guys should go check that out. I know I was looking at it today, and I'm probably getting to go. Dobbins. I've heard Dobbins are good rods. Oh my Lord, my nose just keeps getting worse. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, I'd like to know what he thinks about those rods.
Yeah, I would too.
I know a lot of people uses them. I'd like to know a little more about those rods.
Yeah, I would too. The Dobbins, there's another brand out there too. 1-3, I call them 13. I don't know what the proper. Those rods, the number 8s, ain't there? I'd like to know a little more about that. I talked to a guy about the Enigma rods today, and
what you think about those?
He told me that he loved them. He really said they're nice. He said the hardest part about those for him right now, he said he's on their pro staff, but he said he really does love them. He said he's not going to be on their pro staff next year. And he said the biggest reason he's not going to be on their pro staff is because they're so back ordered. He can't get the rods he needs. And when you're
go ahead.
Well, he says he just can't get the rods he needs. And when he's a tournament angler. He doesn't do any YouTube or anything. Does a little bit of Twitter, but you know, they don't want you fishing with anything else.
Oh yeah, I know. Because I actually went on the what's that site, National Pro Staff site, whatever it is, and signed up for Enigma rods, and I made the, you know, I actually got the email saying I was part of it. Well, you're supposed to, you're supposed to buy so many rods in such amount of time. Well, I can't afford it. I mean, so you know, I guess I'm not on the pro staff now because it's been over the amount of days. But I really wanted to, but I just, you know, that's a lot of money for one dish, you know. But put out at one time, but I was really hoping to do that, but I think I just kind of let that pass on by. But I kind of wonder how those rods are.
Yeah.
Or were, or whatever.
Now Bass Bullies was telling me, and I was looking into some of their rods today. Bass Bullies, what is the name of that rod again? It's Gary Loomis is no longer with G. Loomis, and he went and started his own company. Is it TFO Bass Bullies?
TFO's where I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, they're a little more expensive. They're, you know, like $150, $160. But from what I've read and what Bass Bullies told me is that they are basically G. Loomis for about $150 to $200 cheaper. So so yeah, I'm really thinking about maybe later on looking into some of those. I went out and looked at them today, and they look good. I don't think Joey ALX. I don't even know what. I don't even know if I
tried getting on with them. They're from South Carolina. I tried getting on with them here a while back, but I ain't heard anything from them. But that's which I'm with Cast King, so I'm not. I'm just staying, you know.
Well, if you're happy with what they've got, then, you know, I say, and you're getting a good deal, I mean, you stay with them.
Have not used their rods, but from what I understand, they're good. The Cast King rods. I'm eager. I'm wanting to try their kayak rods. Is what I'm wanting to try.
Now,
and I missed out on their special.
Here's a question. Here's a question for you that I was actually thinking about this the other day on kayak, because now my first boat was just a little old Green John boat. A kayak, do you need to fish a stiffer rod in a kayak? Because it seems like you're going to have a lot more give, you know, because when you set the hook, it seems like, because I know I've caught, you know, 2 and 3 pounders that pulled my 14-foot John boat around in a little old kayak.
Oh yeah.
So are kayak rods, are they stiffer? Or are they softer? What I mean,
I've never owned a per se kayak rod, but I know I would think they would need to be a little stiffer.
Yeah.
You know, I just use what I got, you know, but I've been wanting to try those kayak rods that Cast King makes, but these guys may know, you know, as far as what they would prefer. I know some of these guys say they fish kayak tournaments, and I'm not sure what these guys use as far as their rods. But yeah, I mean, I think a good stiffer rod would, you know, for me, it seems to work out pretty good. I use a medium heavy 7-foot rod is what I usually use with fast action. I mean, that's mostly what I use. I got a couple moderates that I use for, cranking or whatever, but I don't do a lot of that at a kayak because it's just kind of complicated, to be honest with you.
Yeah. That's, I've always wondered that, because I just got to thinking about it, the other day, actually watching your videos, and I was like, I was like, man, that seems like it'd be a lot of give. I was like, I wonder when you and I hate to bring up a painful past. So I apologize for this. When you lost your PB there, brother, I was wondering about that. I was like, well, maybe should he have used a stiffer rod? Maybe he didn't get a good hook set because it looked like he got a good hook set. I was just,
I did. I'll be honest with you. I'll show it one day. I did not show it in the video, but I will show it one day. Oops, I keep hitting my mic. What happened on that? I think most of it was probably my fault that I lost that. In the video, I said it was my 12-pound line, and it probably was. That was probably the biggest part of it. I probably should have had gone straight braid all the way down to my worm. But, and it may not have anything to do with it, but whenever I brought the fish up to me, I didn't let it get, I don't think I let it get enough fight out of it. And when I brought it up to me, I grabbed about 3/4 way up the rod, and whenever it did, it went under the boat, and it just snapped the line like that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think that was.
I've had that. I'm bad about that. You got to get that head up out of the water so they can't dig on you anymore. I'm bad about that. You get them right to the boat, and then you start thinking, "Oh gosh," and I'm bad.
Well, it's just when you're not really thinking. You're just trying to get it up to you where you can grab a hold of it. And I messed up.
Yeah. I tell you,
it happens.
And me and Bass Boys was talking about this in the live feed we did there the other day, and he was joking. Bass Boys, did you ever go look at that musky boat flip? I don't know if you did, but you need to see that. I know Bobby A went and looked at it because he was like, that's crazy. But with a swim bait, it's got a jig hook on it. And so you'll see me a lot of times, the boat flip and the netting job, if I have guys out there with me, it's looks like a cluster, honestly. And the reason why is because the difference when you're flipping and you got a jig or you got a single big hook, you're just dragging them out and getting them in the boat. You got to do it as quick as you can. And it's really the same way with a swim bait. And I seen Matt Allen and the guys from Bass and say the same thing. You get that hook on that swim bait, and you crank them in. There's no waiting. And if guys are, if they're not there with the net by the time the fish gets there, you've got such a large piece of plastic that can spin and torque that out. You just need to get them in the boat. Get them in the boat as fast as you can. It's a jig hook. Get them in the boat. Boat hop them. And I'm not going to sit there and play with them and lip them, and I'm not going to get down on the deck and roll around and give them a chance to shake their head, because as soon as they shake their head, that bait comes out. So Bass Bullies, he was amazed. He was like, I can't believe you boat flip, 3, 4, 5 pounders. And I'm like, yes, if I've got them on 15 or 17 pound test and I got a big old hook that ain't going to be in, I'm boat flipping them. If my net guy ain't there, by the time they're beside the boat, they're coming in the boat. And knock on wood, I've never boat flipping. I've never even broke a rod doing it. Never doing it. I've got the timing down of it pretty quick. Now on a kayak,
that's
mind
good.
Boat flipping is an impossibility unless you got like an ice rod.
I know. Yeah, you break that thing up and they don't tell where it's going once you get it in there.
You boat flip it, you just going across the boat on a kayak. So
yeah. Yeah.
I tell this story all the time. I'd love to have a kayak, but my wife literally will not. She is dead set against me having a kayak. I can swim, people. And my wife is like, no, you'll fall out and drown. I'm like, gosh, come on.
But life jacket,
I got like 20 life jackets. I'll wear them, I don't know what the deal is.
Look at Chad Hoover.
Yeah. So Well, your intro there. I seen you. Gosh, the first time I seen that, I laughed so hard. I know I shouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
FG knot. Now I've got to learn how to tie an FG knot. I use. I see you guys talking about the fluoro and everything I own. I go and I fish clear water, so fluoro to me is a have to have. But everything I have is braid backed. Spinners, bait casters, every rod I've got braid on the back, and that crap lasts forever. So you don't ever have to take it off there.
No, and I just go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry, brother.
No, I was just going to say that I just took some line off my old reels, and I've heard you say in the past, you can take and run that line all the way off and then put it back on backwards and just keep on using it. It's like new.
Yeah. What I'll do with it is I'll take one reel and another reel and just, run it off of one onto another, because you put that old braid on the bottom. You're never going to use that.
Exactly.
Especially if you're just using it for backing, you're never getting anywhere close to that.
No.
And so you're putting that well down in the reel, so you can actually use that that braid again, honestly. And if I'm only using it for backing, which 90% of the time that's all I'm doing, it's like it matters either way. So as long as it's not off. Yeah. Well, guys, we are at the 9:10 mark, and I know Thomas is ready to call in tonight, and my voice literally doesn't have any more gas left to it. It is breaking up quickly. North Florida Fishing 42. Oh, that's never mind. That's you, Richard. I forgot. So we're going to go 5 minutes longer, get your last questions into us, and then we're going to call it a night.
While we've got this couple minutes here, I know you said if I do this.
Lord, yeah.
I got a big giveaway going on, 20 plus winners. If you go on my page, on my channel, especially if you're a new subscriber, as soon as you click on my channel, it's going to pop it up. You'll see it. Huge, epic giveaway. 2 channels. It's me and my channel, Southern Outdoors Fishing, and Get Real Outdoors Fishing. So be sure to subscribe to his channel, subscribe to my channel. You got to be subscribed to both to be able to be entered for the giveaway. But we got Cast King reels, we got Lucky Tackle boxes, Lucky Tackle box shirts, upscale lures, baits, plumhead tackle jigs, and chatterbait jigs. Let's see, I got tons of plastics. We got just a number of all kinds of stuff. Shirts. So guys, be sure to come on my channel, sign up for that giveaway. It only takes you a couple minutes to do. Share that video. I'd really appreciate it. And that's basically all I want to end my time with. Appreciate BassGeek inviting me. I really do appreciate it.
There's no need.
Appreciate it.
I owe you this, man. You've been great to me. Absolutely great.
Well, thank you. Same here. And we are going to get together one of these days and go fishing. That is a promise.
I guarantee you that. I am going to answer this, Jake. Best soft body swim bait jig head for the money. Anybody knows I am a huge ledge head lures fan, and like I said, this guy's a friend of mine, and it really has absolutely nothing to do with our friendship. I will put you on a boat any day of the week and put the same exact rod, reel, line, and swim bait in your hand, and you can use any other jig head, any other belly, any other internal weight, and I'll outfish you. And then I'll hand over that rod to you, and I'll guarantee you'll outfish me. It gives the bait action. It is his design. He has got a YouTube channel. He doesn't have a lot. He's not a YouTuber, but go out there and look at it. Now, you also asked, what is my favorite swim bait? I go back and forth. Super clear water, I'm using a Ghost Shad 5.5 inch Shadowlicious. In a little more stained water or around cover, I'm going with BassGeek or the new Zoom. And colors will change as I get shallower. Now, I will add, after we get to 8 feet or less, I will start adding things to my swim bait, underspins, blades of some sort, to get vibration out. I am not again, we're talking about lure selection, and in dirtier water, swim baits, soft plastic swim baits, don't have enough sound to them. And that's when I start to change what I'm doing. Except on Douglas. Douglas is just weird. It's just weird. Guys, go out if you haven't, and I would say all of you guys already have. Sub Southern Outdoors. I will put links in the description. I'm not going to lie to you. Probably not tonight. I'll probably do it tomorrow morning when I get up. I don't have much of a voice. I haven't ate dinner. I've been at work all day. Forgive me. Come back tomorrow to this. I will put them in there. Southern Outdoors. Make sure you sub his channel. His giveaway is massive. Just remember, we're friends. and I'm entered.
He is entered. It tickled me to death if everyone in here wins something.
Yeah.
It tickled me to death. Because
Guys,
you got 20 plus chances.
Yeah, you do. All right, it's 15 after, and my voice don't have nothing left. Guys, man, I say it all the time. I've had so much fun doing YouTube. I didn't expect it to be this way. The fishing community is exactly that. It is a community. I have been on live feeds where trolls come in, and man, it is like you turn the dogs loose on them. And you guys are impressive. You're great. You're fun to talk to. And I hope you learned something from both of us. Only good somethings, not some of the stuff might be, And thanks for all the well wishes, by the way. Maybe thanks for I'm gonna spend this weekend. I'm sorry there probably will not be a fishing video next Tuesday because I will probably sit in the bed all weekend. But
you need to rest.
Yeah, it's gonna be super cold, and I'll end up with pneumonia if I get out on the lake this weekend, which breaks my heart because I am dying to go.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm dying to go. But guys, much love, much love. You guys are awesome. I can't say it enough, and I can't tell you how much I actually really mean it. Getting to hang out with the live feeds, it really shows. I mean, 5 minutes after, we haven't been out of the teens, and we've got as high as I think 18 and 20 at times, and that's pretty daggone impressive for a channel as small as I am. So, guys, peace out, Thomas. You know you're my dude. I'm going to do we'll talk about that later. I got to go. See you guys later. Let me figure out how to cut.
Take care, guys. Peace. Peace out.
Take it easy.